Hello, welcome to another edition of Kickstart with Ann. And today, if you don't already know, sacrifice, we're still dealing with sacrifice now, is one of the larger portions of my book, Crazy Enough to Jump. And it's a 4-part series. Sacrifice is huge. And I just want to make you aware of the things that you can expect that will happen to you during the process of you taking a leap, taking a jump. Because sometimes people say, well, I want to do that. I want to do it. I want to go for it. But you don't always consider the cost of what you're aspiring to do. So within this series of Crazy Enough to Jump, in this particular session of sacrifice, we're going to discuss today how to handle your critics. Back when I was in 9th grade, I had a science teacher, and he had a famous comment that he would make whenever we would tell on another classmate, or whenever someone was dealing with bullying. He would always say, consider the source. And that's all he would say. Back then, I didn't understand, but I have come to realize what that means. When you consider the source, not only should you take a good look at the words that are being said to you, but the information that's being brought to you, what's fueling it? It's the harsh criticism, the rhetorical questions. It's the facial expressions that people are making when they're conversing with you. Many comments, suggestions, and alleged advice is fueled by other people's fears. They've never done it, or they've been unsuccessful with their tactic at trying to reach for something, so they're telling you, don't do it. For example, if someone is struggling in the ocean, the first thing that they would do is call for a life raft or a lifeline. Hey, help me, lifeguard. They're calling for help. So they assume that if they constantly have to call for help, at the slightest hint of trouble, so should you. They don't expect you to walk out of sacrifice. So when you're going through your period of drought, they may suggest that you do other things that will further set you back from what you're trying to do. So in this case, you have to judge that and say, hey, based on their life and what they had to do or what didn't happen for them, this is the reason why they're telling me this. So I have to look at my life and what's best for me. So they may tell you, well, I wouldn't do that if I were you. I wouldn't jump out there that far if I were you. But why are they saying that? Have they told you any information about them or what happened to them? And you can always ask, especially if this is someone who is close to you, a confidant or a friend, you can always ask, well, why do you say that? Why do you say I shouldn't do that? What is your reason for saying that? And see where they're coming from. And if that comment is fueled based on their experience, then you may really want to put that under the microscope and see if that fits your life. Because your sacrifice, although it may be similar to theirs, it doesn't always have to be so. There's a statement out there that says, if it looks like a duck, if it walks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, then it is a duck. But that's not always true in our human experiences, because it may look like I'm dealing with the same situation as you from the outside looking in, but once you're inside my home, now you can see all the factors that are going against me, all the factors that I have to consider with my decisions, whereas you may not have all those factors inside your household. So it's so many things that have to be considered when people are talking, making suggestions, and you're feeling bad about yourself and feeling, well, maybe they're right, maybe I shouldn't do it. No, maybe they're wrong. I like to share this particular part with you. During a strenuous portion of the journey for my family and I had a few people to make some comments and tell me, you should pack up and go back home. You know, go back to where you came from, where it's easier. You know, you have family support there. You have your parents, and why don't you just go back, and why would you want to deal with this and fight and go against the grain, and for what purpose? And I would just look at them. I didn't say too much, and I would go back to my room and I would assess it. Sometimes I would feel some type of way about it. But then again, that's the key part. I assessed it. I didn't just take what they were saying. I didn't just listen to their suggestions and let it take root inside of me. I went back to a place of quietness and I reassessed. I went back to my goals. Why did I come here? Why did I decide to jump out here like this? And when I remembered my reasons for it, what they said became irrelevant because I remember why I was there. I remember why I wanted to take a leap. And so the little issues that I was going through that they felt were major became minute to me because the goal was more important than the little minute situations, the little inconveniences in between. Who cares about the inconveniences when I'm going to end up at this place that I've set out to go? So you can't be deterred by the inconveniences because that will happen. That's a given. There will be inconveniences. There will be roadblocks. But what are you going to do? Are you going to stop at a roadblock and say, well, until somebody moves this, either I'm going to turn back around and go another way, or I just have to just quit? You never thought about moving the block yourself? You never thought about going back like the track stars do and running full speed and jumping over the hurdle? You never thought about asking any questions or why the hurdle is there? We're talking about life now. Every time you see a brick hurdle or some type of a road sign, it doesn't mean that you stop. It doesn't mean that you halt. No, you keep going. Consider the roadblocks and why they're even there. Consider the barriers. Why is it? Have you ever thought about this? Why is it that when you're trying to do something good or when you're actually taking steps to get to the next level, why does it seem that you have like all of this bad energy coming at you from different places? Why is it? It's because there is a fear somewhere. This evil energy is coming towards you to in an attempt to block you from being successful. Why? Because if you become that what you've aspired to be, now that means that other people will see that and they will aspire. Other people will develop. Other people will come out of depression. Other people will come out of these slump type of lives because why? They've seen you do it, and now you're an example to what they can do. You're showing them their possibility. Because just like you, other people are hearing these same comments. Well, you can't do that. Maybe you should try in a year. Wait until your kids are grown. Wait until you have more money. Wait until you lose the weight. You don't have the right look. All these things that come, you don't have what it takes. Why not? Because you didn't have what it took? Why not? Because you failed? You have to assess the comments, suggestions, and the alleged advice that's coming your way. Sometimes you have to let the calls go to voicemail. Sometimes you just don't need to respond to certain texts. Sometimes you tell the people, no, I can't go out today. I don't want to go do tea today. Why? Because you already know the comments of bad energy, of negative energy are going to come in your space, and you need to protect your space at all costs. Why? Because the mark that you set out to reach is more important than the hatred and the comments of biasness and racism and these narrow-minded perspectives that are coming your way. You don't need that bad energy because it's gonna hold you back, push you back, slow you down, mess up your mind. And now you have to get to a place to where you have to re-gear yourself like I had to do. You have to go back to the room. You have to go back to a quiet place. And now you have to get the energy to start again. You have to question yourself. Well, am I really fit to do this? Is this really a good idea? Am I missing it somewhere? Now you're questioning yourself because other people that are talking to you because they're unsure. That is your red flag right there. Just because they're unsure, they don't have a right to put that on your plate. Shut that stuff off. Stop taking their calls. Stop sitting down conversing with them about everything that you have going on with your life. Why? Because they brew negativity. And not saying that everyone is negative. Again, let me stress that. There are some people in your life who have been where you're trying to go. They are wise with their advice. They know what they're talking about. When you listen to the untrained coaches that are standing on the sideline trying to give you orders and dictate every little move you make, you land yourself in chaos. And you know what the other side of that is? These untrained coaches, they will disappear and leave you to clean up the mess that they help you create on aisle 3. And you'll be doing it alone. They'll be long gone, and you'll be the one suffering the consequences of listening to their ignorance. Until next time, you guys take care. Learn how to handle your critics. Put them where they belong, which is behind you. Shoot for the stars.